When Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire released a dozen years ago, players were devastated when they learned that there was no way to transfer your Pokémon from the second generation to the third. It made sense to an extent, because they completely remodeled the EV and IV mechanics in this generation, but since those games, there's always been some way to transfer your Pokémon up from generation to generation. Today, I'm going to show you how you can transfer a Pokémon all the way from Ruby and Sapphire, which was released in late 2002, early 2003, all the way to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, bridging a 12-year gap. It isn't simple, but you will get a fun reward for all your work. For starters, you're going to need the following games. One 3rd generation game, Ruby Sapphire Emerald, one 4th generation game, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver, one 5th generation game, Black, White, Black 2, or White 2, the 3DS downloadable software, Pokémon Bank and Poké Transporter, and the 6th generation games, in this case Pokémon Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. For hardware, you will need one Nintendo DS model that can still use Game Boy Advance cartridges, and one 3DS. You'll also need working Wi-Fi, but I assume if you're watching this video right now, that you've probably got it. Ready? Here we go! For starters, the only thing you'll need to do in the original Ruby Sapphire Emerald games is own at least 7 Pokemon, and all the Pokemon you'll be sending over need to be in the PC box. The game transfers 6 at a time, and it has to be a full 6. Now, you might be wondering why my Ruby trainer name is Jamie. I actually have no idea. I already transferred all my Pokemon long ago, so I'm borrowing a friend's cartridge. And he doesn't know why it's Jamie either. The world might never know. Today I'll be transferring a handful of Ruby exclusive Pokemon from my Alpha Sapphire Pokedex, and a Ralts because why not? Now, in order to transfer Pokemon, you need to put your 3rd generation game into the bottom slot of the DS and your 4th generation game in the top slot. In Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, you need to beat the Elite Four to receive the National Dex before claiming your old Pokemon in this game. You'll find the Pal Park for retrieving Pokemon to the right of Route 211. You can only transfer from the 3rd generation in this game 1 time per day, which is why I usually use Heart Gold Soul Silver for my transfers, where transfers are unlimited. In Heart Gold Soul Silver, you can begin reclaiming your old Pokemon as soon as you reach Fuchsia City in the Kanto portion of the game. You don't need any specific Pokedex requirements. The Pal Park is where the closed Safari Zone used to be. Once you've unlocked the Pal Park, you can transfer your 3rd generation Pokemon over from the title screen if you have both cartridges in. Use the Migrate Pokemon option from the title screen, and then select exactly 6 Pokemon to bring over from the games. Once you've migrated your 6 Pokemon, you can find them in the Pal Park. All you have to do is capture your Pokemon back with Park Balls, which you receive for free, and capture your Pokemon 100% of the time when thrown. Now that your Pokemon are in Generation 4, it's time to bring them up to 5. For this segment, you'll need 2 Nintendo systems capable of playing DS games. Since you already need a DS and a 3DS system for different parts of the transfer, you can just use those 2 systems to make it work. For this transfer, you need to have beaten your 5th generation game. Once you've completed it, and Juniper upgrades your Pokedex, you can enter Route 15 on Pokemon Black, White, Black 2, or White 2, and go to the Pokemon Transfer Lab. On your other DS with the 4th generation game, select DS Download Play from the game's main menu, and select the game you're about to transfer to. Then, select 6 Pokemon to transfer over. You will need to play a minigame on the DS Download Play system to capture the Pokemon you attempted to send over, with a crossbow that shoots Pokeballs. I'm not making this up, this is by far the weirdest part of transferring Pokemon. Shoot your Pokemon into the balls when they're not hiding. It can be kind of hard to hit them because it only works when they jump between bushes, but there are sleep power-ups that you can hit for easy captures within the bushes. At the end of the game, if it takes you too long, all your Pokemon will fall asleep with a sleep powder, so it's pretty easy to get them all. Any Pokemon you catch before time ends will be sent to the new game. Pokemon not captured will go back to the 4th generation game, but you can repeat this process as many times as you want. Now that your Pokemon are in the 5th generation, you need to use Pokemon Bank and Poké Transporter to bring your Pokemon into Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Both of these programs can be downloaded for free from the eShop. Pokemon Bank is a service that costs $5 a year to transfer large amounts of Pokemon between games, so keep that in mind. Poké Transporter will transfer your entire box one at once, so be sure to only move the Pokemon you want to move up into the box. With the 5th generation game in your 3DS, use the Poké Transporter application to bring your Pokemon from Generation 5 into the Pokemon Bank. Then, in Pokemon Bank, you can use the application to transfer your Pokemon from the bank into a Generation 6 game connected to the 3DS of your choice. Then, finally, after all of those steps, you have successfully transferred a Pokemon through 4 generations of games, up to 12 years of time, to the latest generation. There is one final thing you can do with your ancient Pokemon though. If you put a Pokemon transferred all the way from Ruby or Sapphire first in your party and bring it to the director in Lily Cove City, he will present you with a Time Travel Award. a fun plaque that you can then place anywhere in your super secret base. Thanks for watching today's Pokemon video. If you want to get notifications so that you don't miss the next one, you can click right at the bottom to subscribe to my channel. I've also got a few more Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire videos out already, which you can check out by clicking the boxes above. Catch you next time with more Nintendo content.